recorded. It is recording right now. We will be putting this on YouTube about midweek, so it will be on YouTube. And if anybody wants to check us out, you can find us on the web. Our address is thesethhouse.com. Easy to remember, thesethhouse.com. You can like us on Facebook. You can go to YouTube, make sure you subscribe, and certainly click the little like button, after you've watched this. So I'm Kate, and
I'm Oshara.
I know it says Kate, but she's Oshara.
And I'm Mickey.
And we have Mickey on. And today we're just trying something a little different. We've invited a panel of people, and we can start the conversation. And let me look at the Facebook page. So ladies, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Mickey, why don't you go first?
Oh, Bobig. Hi, I'm Mickey Lowe, and I'm coming from West Yorkshire in England. And I've been studying Seth since the early 70s. Coming from Yorkshire in England, and I've been studying Seth since the early 70s. Coming from
Oh, I think I had a deja vu moment, Kate. That seems to have repeated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's repeating.
Okay, we're good now.
Okay.
Oh, you're making sure it's on Facebook.
That was me. I'm on it. I'm gonna be the one. I'll sit and monitor Facebook. So right now we've got Sunny, Ty on, Nicola, Joe is on, and Miriam, Jen. I think that's it right now. But I see, and those are the people that have, welcomed us. And then, I
so good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. This is an important show, and we're glad you're here with us. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I also see Ned is on watching. Hi, Ned.
Hi, Ned.
And Kathleen. So I'm not going to announce everybody's name, but I will be watching for questions, for comments about whatever the conversation is.
Okay.
Now, any of us that are panelists that are watching, you just need to mute the Facebook so that it's not doing double work.
Mm-hmm. I can't even see it because I have my Zoom on.
That's good.
Just the Zoom open page. However, do I need to be able to see the chat side of the Facebook page? I can mute it, but
I don't think you need to at this time. I mean, I'll really watch it. So Miriam, she's just listening. That's great.
Because we have a chat on here as well. Yeah.
We do.
And so, that's separate.
Kate and I will watch the Zoom chat and the Facebook chat. And thanks again for everybody who's joining us. This is so exciting.
Yeah. It has a nice feeling.
Yeah. And it is a few seconds delay. And as often happens, it's now 4:05 p.m. and we're waiting for a few more of the folks to join us who said they were going to be with us today. And we're going to be doing something a little different today, and we'll show you, we'll tell you more about it as we kind of get everything together. Kate, I think all our techno stuff is pretty much fine.
I think we're in place. Yeah, I think we are so ready. Welcome to everybody on Facebook. Yeah, so what we've listened to viewers and we've listened to people, and we thought we will try the panelists. So we've got a panel of people that can discuss Seth, and
one thing I'll throw out there, Kate, too, is we've been talking about it for a while. We really care about this thing, and we want it to be the best possible thing we can. We've been doing it for like over a few months now, I think.
3 months since the beginning of COVID.
You're right, about 12 to 15. I don't know how many sessions we've had. We have to count them, but this has been an amazing experience and experiment as well, too. Like, how do we do this? And then finding out, well, what's the highest intentions we can bring to this as well? So we wanted to try something different this time around as a way of just kind of like examining the potential for this very thing. I can also say that, you know, sometimes it was so big that we kind of lost focus sometimes, or we needed to put more safeguards in from intruders, and we'll talk about that later. But really trying to just make this the best we can. And so we're glad that we have people watching us live who will be, you know, throwing in their questions or just, you know, listening to this conversation we're all having with the Seth community, and trying to make it, you know, taking it to the next level is what can the Seth Talk be. So for this, we decided to kind of limit the number of people so we can stay on focus. And we're so sorry for some of our friends maybe who didn't know what the plan was. You know, we put it out there what we're doing. If some people are saying like, why aren't they letting me in? It's, we love you, nothing personal. We're just trying to maybe have a fewer number of people just for this session, just what right now, and call it a panel discussion so that we can go over some possibilities of what this can be. And please, you know, we'll future panels will do future things. So keep watching about what last minute plans might be. Kate, how are things looking there on your end again?
Well, I'm answering people on Facebook because yes, they want to know Zoom links and how do I get in. So the Zoom link is not open to the public today.
Just today.
Right, we're trying this new thing out. So anybody that wants to participate that has not received a link, they need to do it through Facebook. So add your questions, your comments to whatever is going on.
We're not going to put it out there for the whole world like we did sometimes, because sometimes, like we said, we got some people who jumped in who had ill intention and just, you know, just maybe said very unkind things. So we're like saying, okay, let's stop a second so that we can find other ways of filtering this, and also to have a specific kind of conversation, you know, we got a new person. Jeff Kiefer is in the room. Hey, Jeff, you're on. Thank you for joining us, Jeff. Jeff, you're live. So, Jeff, we're expecting a couple more people too. And as they come in, we'll welcome them and introduce people. We're only thinking we're going to have about 6 people this time, like we said, kind of a limited panel, so that we can just kind of shoot some ideas around about this. And this is just for today, and then we'll see how we do things from now on. But again, if you wanted to get on the live Zoom broadcast, please stay on the Facebook thing and type us questions and comments. So again, this is all about, we're getting together to have a discussion and try to really put forth some new exciting ideas.
Hi, Jeff.
Okay, and I am trying to get people on that are confused.
Hey, here we are.
Yep, so I'm working behind the scenes here, ladies. Oh, and Jeff, I'm sorry, Jeff, thank you.
Oh, Jeff, you're muted, I think. Did you mute yourself?
I'll unmute him. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
I had a problem finding the email with the connection details.
Oh.
The last email I have from you, Ashara, was saying you were going to send it to me, and then I never got anything. But I looked in my emails, and I had gotten it before that. So I was a little confused.
Oh, we sent an email today. You may need to look at it. It said it was, instead of saying it was from the Seth House, it said it was from info@the-Seth House. And we just sent that earlier today. But you got in, that's great. That one had the link. But you got in through a previous link, I guess, through a previous email.
I got in through something. I'm here. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Great. I'm glad to hear it. All right.
And
I thought that was interesting.
For all the people on Facebook, I just want to say now, because lots of people are very confused. The Zoom password is not going to be made public. We are trying to protect the integrity of who gets in. And so we decided to have a panel, and weekly these panels will change. For this week, there were 6 people we invited, and people are having a hard time getting in. So we've got 4 on right now. So please, if there's any conversations you would like to have, just put the questions in Facebook. We will get them to the panel so that a discussion can happen. Okay.
Oh, doorbell.
Yeah, I don't know who it is though. All right. Nicola Dignan met O'Shar in Scotland. Lovely.
I remember
lady.
you, girl. Yeah.
Have some difficulty trying to understand who Seth is. Well, Nicola, great. You know, this is a place where new Seth readers can learn more from old Seth readers.
Long time.
Speaking of,
Yes, yes. Young at heart.
that's a wonderful place to begin. Her question is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great starting point.
Who is
So
Seth?
glad you're with us.
So that's a good place to start. Who is Seth?
I would imagine, you know, my mind tells me that Seth would say, "Who do you want me to be?"
Yes. And who have I been?
Who have I been?
Yeah.
Oh my, there's a lot of noise happening, little glitchy things here and there.
And by the way, we'll let you know too that Kate and I are in the same building, but in
Sorry,
different rooms.
Yeah,
So that
so we don't have feedback.
feedback stuff. So she's in that room, I'm here. At some point we may run into each other's screens or what have you if we need to. But yeah, we're in the same room. And also it's been quite a few sessions since I've been on. Kate's been manning the helm so valiantly and doing a great job. But anyway, just acknowledging Kate's amazing good work with hosting the show. This whole for at least 4 sessions or 5, and also to everybody else who's been contributing so beautifully to making, you know, getting this conversation rolling and getting the Seth Talk live show off the ground and making it more accessible. And what we're really excited about too is that more people have been finding out about it, watching it on Facebook, or else going to YouTube to watch the shows, replay it when they can, or on our Facebook page to be able to review the shows afterwards. And please forgive us for all the glitches. That's just part of technology these days. And Kate's doing an absolutely fabulous job geeking out. But this is something new. And again, we want to really talk to some issues about really making this something really special and how we can possibly take it to the next level. So, and for that, again, sorry to our friends that didn't already know. We tried to contact as many people as we could, that we were wanting to try something a little more intimate with this conversation, because, you know, when we have a big crowd, we have big talk that goes in many directions, but we wanted to stay on point with this. And the topic is this broadcast and ideas we're having and that we want to kick around about how can we make this better? How can we make this give even more to our Seth friends? Kate, any other things you want to?
I haven't been here. I've been sporadic. I haven't been here either. I might get up and down because it's really hot here today. It's like 102 to adjust the fans and stuff.
Where are you, Jeff?
I'm in Antioch, California. It's not unusual.
Yes.
Not unusual to have
Heat
triple
wave.
digits. Well, you know, it's always in the 90s here in the summer.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm in the back room and it's hot here. So I think I've got the problem solved.
I love what you said in answer to the question of who is Seth, because it's such a profound part of why we're all here. You know, people have been discussing, well, who is Seth? You know, that thing gets answered in a different way for everybody who asks. You know?
And I think too, what you're saying, Maggie, too, is that there's no end to the answers of questions.
Right.
Who is Seth?
But that was his whole point, wasn't it? That's really the gist of what he came to do, is to
It might
say
be.
that opportunity and existence is absolutely endless, and you're writing the script. So choose wisely, because
It would
what
be,
you write happens.
it would just be just as appropriate to ask, what is Seth?
Yes, yes,
Well, and two, just saying too, I think Seth also referred to, well, you ask me who I am. Something about the answer to that question is also like, well, who are you?
yeah,
As you answer the question, who are you? That's also answering, who is he? Who is he? Who are you? So he keeps turning it back to us, keep finding out who you are,
yes.
explore who you are. And both mysteries have the same answers. Who is Seth? Who am I? Who are you?
The
Who are we?
path, the path along those lines dovetails, and you eventually discover that not only do you know more, so much more about who you are, and you start to understand who he is, but then you come upon the realization, oh my God, we're the same.
You know what else I'm starting to realize, or my twisted brain is starting to think that, Seth is a cluster personality.
Yeah.
I think we all are cluster
Yes.
personalities, although it might interfere with our thought of our singular personhood. We might be all groups of everything.
Yes.
I
We're
agree.
all that is.
Now, before we get too far, I want to welcome Audrey. She showed up while we
Hi.
were doing a little talk. Hi, Audrey. How are you?
Finally.
Good, good, good.
Hello, love.
Hi.
All
I'm
right.
glad you joined us, Audrey. Thank you. Did you have some techno problems? Did you get the email we sent okay?
She didn't get it.
Finally, I did. Yeah, I finally,
Oh,
I finally did.
okay.
I finally looked in the right spot.
All right, good. Is
Now,
it going to your spam? Is that what happened?
No, I didn't think I was getting one, so I didn't look there until I went with I saved the old meeting
Okay.
and tried to get in with that one.
Okay.
and
All right.
along with that one, we wrote a really long email, not really long, but
Yeah.
just saying some of the ideas we want to talk
Mhm.
about, some of the intentions. I'll read some of that a little later on so that our viewers and our friends can know a little bit more about, some of the ideas we're putting into this as well. So I'll read that email as well as another note. So we've come kind of prepared, at least as good as we can, I guess. And there's one more person we're looking for, which is Shauna.
Mhm.
And so when she comes in, we'll welcome her too. And then that'll be the whole kabang for this show today.
Yeah.
And we apologize for anyone who we weren't able to reach or whatever. It's very last minute, but we'll address that more as we continue here. What, Kate? I'm sorry.
Well, we'd like to keep it to maybe 6 or 7 people on, because one of the pieces of feedback we heard was there were so many people on that knew so many things, and they were so expressing, that they were so excited about expressing, that there really wasn't room for new people to maybe push a little question in. So we thought a little bit slower, a little more intimate, that other people that are newer or maybe a little shyer will feel more comfortable here.
And we won't miss anything. When sometimes the Facebook questions would come through, we'd miss beautiful comments, beautiful questions, because things were happening so fast. So taking it to a different pace so that we're sure to include everybody and all the thoughts that are being sent to us. We want to respect everybody and every question posed, every comment. So we're just like, okay, again, this is all in the interest of making it better and better.
Absolutely. And Amy just posted, I think you should have more than one Zoom chat at different days of the week or at
Well,
different parts of the
can
day.
I chime in on that? Because,
Sure.
once the lockdown here is lifted, I'm an organizer for bingo on Sunday, and I won't be able to attend on Sundays. So maybe having one on a Saturday also would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been talking about that since the beginning too, that, okay, we're starting with this one group, which has been a lot to handle in and of itself, but that the long-term vision is, yes, we have this forum, making it twice a week, 3 times a week, or having some of the groups be maybe a theme, like Tuesdays, I'm just off the top, Tuesdays might be Seth Book Study Group. where we specifically like bring a book and we study the group together for the book together as a group for a couple hours online. Or there could be even a different language group, because we've had such an international crowd, and we have the Zoom capacity. We could be having Zoom talks every day of the week and have different people hosting different themes. So right now it is just once a week, and that's been a lot to handle.
And that's exactly what Amy suggested, everything that we're talking about. And this small panel will also give people an opportunity to get to know what it's like to be on a panel and to run a panel, so that we can expand this, because Shar and I can't do everything. I know you think we can, but we can't. So we will need help if the community wants to expand this. We have the capability of doing that, but we need the bodies.
And as Kate was saying too, it's like, this would kind of be like, you know how TV series go, you have a show and then some character is really strong and they get a spin-off, they get their own show. So this is going to be a training ground for Seth speakers, for Seth Conversationalists.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and then we can make spin-offs when they have the time to have, you know, when it's a good time and day for them, and whatever the theme is they want to go for. So we want this to kind of like liberate more people and put such creative potential to the Seth conversation for more people to take it on and take it to where their vision takes them.
You know, I've been kicking around the idea of having a one-on-one interview session with Seth people.
Yes.
Like the TED Talks of Seth.
Love it.
We talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that.
With just, you know, the famous Seth people, the not so famous Seth, just everyday Seth people, and just, maybe do it a YouTube thing and have a YouTube channel for that.
Love that. And we have a YouTube channel. I was just thinking, for any of these Seth Talks, Seth shows, that we would post them on the, you know, make them accessible when any of our gang has a show or an interview. Post it on our YouTube channel. That way, if people miss them when they're live, they can find them easily on our YouTube channel or anywhere. I mean, it's like, put it out there everywhere. And having interviews. Yes, we have done interviews here, and there's so many opportunities for conversation. Panel, interview, free for all. Yes, Jeff, thank you for mentioning interviews. Yes.
So Amy is volunteering, and she said, Seth TED, yes.
Oh, Seth TED. Oh.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about calling it the Seth Project.
Great. Like, everybody can have a different use of this Zoom program and call it anything they want, as long as it's, you know, the focus has to be Seth.
Yeah.
And no striptease unless we talk about it.
Oh, we're trying to build up an audience or chase
so
them
much
away.
For my spinoff. You know, the European version, Seth naked, whatever, you know.
As long as you use the word Seth, okay.
Nothing but the Seth.
But you know what? Nobody knows what's going on from the waist down.
That's right.
You are right.
I can see already we're going to really need to have some more meetings about this. Yes.
Are we all wearing pants today? Nobody.
Moving right along.
Moving along.
Everybody stand up on the count of 3.
Go.
3.
I got no problem with it.
But you know, Seth had a very, very large sense of humor. And I think that is, of course, a big part of the whole thing he brought us, was that you've got to take a good look at it. And you've got to see your truth, but you have to be light about it. Be light with yourself. So I love that. It was not all that heavy Madame Blavatsky stuff. It was, you know, it was the new thing of, let's all have fun with it. Let's enjoy our being. It's such a big being.
Absolutely.
Most of us don't realize how extensive it is. So that's part of the biggest part of, I think, my learning experience, was to accept that there are so many other selves, higher, lower, wider, whatever. but dimensional, level, whatever. And so it changes the way you look at the universe. The world of possibilities suddenly explodes. And I love that.
Absolutely, Mickey. And you touched upon so many things there. I don't know what to talk about first in response, but the thing about humor too, what was so breathtaking about Seth is he encouraged humor. He's one of the best spiritual teachers around. He says, have fun, be spontaneous, humor, the joy of life. And he kept stressing that. And it's like, I like that as far as a message to everyone. I think, if
God is enjoyment. He
Yes.
kept trying to get us to realize that all that is about enjoyment and lovingness and fun. And, it's about being happy.
Yeah.
So I serious.
Love that. It's permission.
Yeah.
It's permission to be happy. I love that. Oh.
Great point.
But I think I've met an interdimensional self. I've been having dreams, and when it was brought up last, I thought of my mother and totally forgot. For the last year, I've been having dreams of being in an ashram, and the last dream I had, I was with a little girl who was my daughter in a store, and I was being told about the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, yes.
I looked it up after that dream, but I think that's another self.
How did it make you feel to make that contact?
It surprised me. I never thought it would be in an Indian ashram. I think since coming, with you guys up, my consciousness is opening up, so that excited me, and it was very cool.
And in the long term, as what did the feeling you had when it happened last and change, or maybe change as you kind of processed that?
It just made me look up the Bhagavad Gita. I was excited. I went nuts reading things, and I would like to dream again of her, but I haven't. But it's exciting.
That's wonderful. That is real. And your face is beaming when you're saying it.
No, I'm having histamine effect. My histamines are going through the roof.
Oh. There's so many things like that happen when you start down the SETH path, because again, it's all about expanding, and you suddenly find all these other rooms in your personality that you either didn't know were there or had never explored, personally.
What was interesting is I didn't have children in this life, and I always knew I wasn't going to.
So did Jane and Rob.
Yeah. Since I was a little girl, I used to tell my girlfriends I'd rather go to Vietnam than have kids. I knew it. And it was nice to see I had, I think, a little daughter, at least a little daughter in that life.
In a parallel reality.
Yeah.
So what's interesting too, Seth says, is that there's so much of us, it can't all be squashed into one physical life. Where he said there's probable lifetimes and, probable lives. Even that in this life, there's many incarnations just as who you are right now. Before I forget though, I wanted to ask Kate one question here. I tried to send a Facebook message to Shauna. Kate, have you heard anything further from Shauna?
No, I have not.
So we can either assume she had something happen today, or she'll just hop in later when she does. In the meantime, we're 5, we're great, and we're going to cover and discuss so many other things. How many people do you think are on Facebook, Kate, or viewing other ones?
There's actually quite a few on Facebook. Right now, I'm seeing 9 likes and let's see. I have to open up a different window. So there's 5 watching at the moment. Yeah.
on Facebook that we know about? Sometimes people are watching, we can't track everybody on this stuff, so.
Right.
Where
And
everyone-
it seems that on Facebook, people pop in and pop out. So they don't necessarily stay the whole time. There has been a lot of interest, and they do want an absolute open forum. Like last week's, that people could just pop in, pop out, and all be on. It's not the safest thing. It was very difficult to manage. Oh, so here, Sean is on, a different Sean, and he can see 13. So they're seeing different numbers than I'm actually seeing. Crazy. Oh yeah, they're all telling me 13, 13, 13.
Hi, friends. Hi, friends.
Yeah.
So are we going to do topics? What are we going to do?
That's one of the things too. And again, like thinking about if there's a variety of shows or this show too, and you know, different shows, just speaking specifically about the Sunday group, if we do have topics, that was a big thing to say, like, okay, different Seth questions, different topics. Kate, why don't you go on with some of those possibilities? And bringing people, hey, I have a page I want to read and discuss as a group, a paragraph, a topic, and then maybe they can kind of lead the conversation on a Seth topic. Kate, go ahead with that.
Yeah, and right now the Facebook people is all about, well, they kind of like the way it was last week. They like the way this is, but they'd like to have both, and that's certainly a possibility.
Isn't that a great sign we're growing?
It is. They want two of us.
All that. Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to say to the people on Facebook is let's roll with it the way it is this week. So we're not seeing any questions except how can we join? So certainly join by posting comments in this Facebook chat.
I would like to see this meeting answer more Facebook questions.
We will as they come.
Do you want me to talk a little bit about Sonia Hamlin?
Yes, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Well, so to let everybody know, Audrey has had Audrey is our Seth spy, and she's tracking down. I think Mickey, aren't you the one who put her up to it, or was it Shauna?
I think
it was Shauna. Shauna started, and then she came to a dead end. And she talked about it, and because Audrey lives near Boston, she picked up the baton.
Right.
And what was it in a nutshell, Kate? So Audrey can tell her findings.
Shauna had found that Sonia Hamlin had done an interview around the time that Jane was doing interviews. And the word has it that Seth did come through and speak on that interview, and it was a TV interview. So she was looking for the copy of whatever it is. She found that there was a copy, and all it says is psychic around the right
That's what I saw. I didn't see Jane Roberts. I just saw psychic.
Just the word psychic.
Yeah.
So,
Audrey?
and then she was stopped at that point. She didn't know what else to do.
So that's where Shauna left off. And
Yeah.
then Audrey, do you want to take it from there?
Yeah.
I do. What I first want to say is Ned, the weekend that this all came about, that whole weekend I was thinking, did I see Jane Roberts on TV? And, you know, it just kept popping in my head. And Ned was saying something, and he just came out with, didn't Jane do an interview? So that kind of blew me away a little, like we're on the same wavelength there. But anyways, Shauna did the research and got me to BYU, Boston University. I messaged them, and they sent me to the special archive division, and they said, we could have it, you know, the copy of the tape, but we need written permission, the name of the show, the date of the show. So I went on Facebook and saw that Sonia Hamlin was on Facebook, and I messaged her, got nothing back. And last week, Kate had said, what about a website? Sorry, that's my phone. And said, what about a website? So I went on the website, emailed them, and heard back. And I put the email on. I put the email on. I posted the email, and
I hear music.
yes, it's my phone.
But we hear you just fine, Audrey. Keep talking.
Okay, so I posted it on Facebook, and after I said, well, that's pretty cool. We can get permission, written permission, but I didn't get the written permission. So I emailed this morning back to the lady who emailed me, who she already answered me and says she doesn't think that Sonia would know the exact date, the name, but she'll give the permission. So I'm back. I emailed Boston University and gave them the box number. So I'm waiting to hear back from Boston University.
Woohoo!
Yes.
I
Go
mean,
girl!
I have hopes that we could do this. I'm hopeful.
Wonderful.
It sounds exciting.
Yes, there's very little with Seth speaking on, well, and this would be videotape, not even audio tape. So we will be able to see this.
Yeah.
And it's
Be a
apparently
broadcast tape, wouldn't it?
not ever been seen except when it was on originally. So
Right.
Yeah.
this is very, very exciting.
The channels are open.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I've heard about it and never heard anything else. You know, just that it happened once. And that
Mhm.
was many, 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 many years ago. It must have been right as it happened. But within that community, I never heard any more about it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
remembered it, but then I was questioning, am I making it up? But Shauna and Ned confirmed that I wasn't. So
Mm.
And then sometimes you look in the books and they say, they say, oh, we had an interview on TV and Seth came through. And we know there's that radio interview in San Francisco that is available in edited form. So this is the thing, like Kate was saying, we are familiar with the interview that happened by a guy named Channer who interviewed them and the one video of Seth speaking, but there are tucked away places, audio and video interviews that let's find them.
Mhm.
And Audrey is on the case and let's, get, sniff out some more of these things, because this can only add to the Seth Wisdom library if we can unearth some of these old audio and video interviews. This is exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, we found some at our local museum. They had copies of some interviews that she had done. And I hate to say this, we paid $5 for them and I haven't listened to them yet. So,
No, I don't think, no, I think we did.
those are audio.
They were audios that other people did who were talking about Seth. So no, they weren't actually Jane Roberts and Seth. They were audios of people talking about Seth, which was interesting in itself as well. And anything we find is important. And, we're creating the Seth House and we want to have a museum where we can house some of this stuff. And we want to post these things online for free so that people can access information that's going to, inspire people. So Audrey, the Seth Spy, we will find out next week. So stay tuned and tune in next week to find out what are the findings of Audrey's sleuthing.
the only bad thing is Boston University is closed due to COVID.
Oh,
Well, they will open eventually and we will be right there waiting.
and
Yeah.
actually you did make this much headway, so there are people there.
Well, that's what I was going to say, yes.
Yeah.
The workers are there. Not
Yeah.
But yeah.
Double O Sethian.
So again, on Facebook,
I'm your girl.
I am saying on Facebook again, who is Seth? What is Seth? So Seth is a non-physical entity that channeled through a woman that lived right here in Elmira in the house that Oshar and I started the 501c3. And he was very life affirming in all his messages. It's just beautiful works, such teaching.
And I'll jump in there too, Kate, just to give the stats. I mean, Jane Roberts was married to Robert Butts, and they lived at this house in Elmira, New York. And long story short, Jane started channeling Seth, and a huge wealth of material came from that. Seth Speaks, Nature of Personal Reality. These are highly recommended, those two especially. Unknown Reality. 46 books came from this amazing team of people who brought this information from, we'll say, higher realms of understanding and awareness and love. Also, too, what I find really enjoyable is the early sessions, book 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. I mean, there's 9 volumes in this. And these all were sessions that took place before Seth came out with Seth Speaks. If you want to know what's the first book you should read, a lot of people recommend a lot of different things, but I'd say Seth Speaks first and then Unknown Reality for a lot of reasons. But so when they say, who is Seth? Best-selling author. They were channeling before channeling was really kind of a household name. This body of work was developed between the years late 1963 to 1984, when Jane Roberts passed from physical reality. Is that good for in a nutshell about the books and the material they gave us?
I think that's amazing. And some of the people that were asking, Nicola is on again, and she said she wishes she had kept the recording, but never thought her path would cross again with Oshara, but was on a paranormal investigation when we called out asking who this was, and it responded, I am Seth.
I remember that.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Wow, flashback, that hit.
Pretty big.
When was this?
I was in Scotland, and I found last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I found a town in Scotland. I found there was a paranormal investigation group. I never went to like a haunted house looking thing, but it was like, hey, here's an event I'll go to. Met a lot of really nice people, like the woman who's talking with us right now. And they were doing this sound stuff where they have electronic machinery going to a house that is supposed to be haunted, and turning on electrical equipment to try to get voice, electronic voice phenomena. And that, I had a chance to talk with everybody in the group before and told them I'm a big Seth fan, and we talked about Seth. And when we're at that haunted house and we're sitting there listening to kind of the static of electronic voice, just as she says, a voice came through and said that, and it was like,
wow.
So Seth gets around. Seth gets around. I tell you.
There is so much more widely seen and widely appreciated New Age channeling type stuff here in England than anywhere else I've ever been. It's amazing to me that it's so open here and so much more appreciated, so that a lot more comes through to the surface of us knowing about it, because it's not being hidden, for religious reasons and what have you. So there's not as much persecution about it. You can casually say, oh yeah, well, so-and-so, we did such and such, or these particular rituals were observed and what have you,
And there are different places on earth where it's okay to have that kind of a conversation.
Wherever there's ley lines. I mean, because over here you have cathedrals where people are very aware that the cathedral was built on top of a ley line crossing, the grid that's all over the earth, where some parts of the earth it's so much easier to feel the vibrations from another realm.
And Seth spoke to that. He calls them coordinate points or coordination.
Exactly.
Where there's just more energy that can be utilized for, utilizing energy in different places.
And you can feel the difference. You really, really, truly can feel the difference. So you may not even know what it is that you're feeling, but you feel something.
Truly.
I always wanted to go to Stonehenge.
Oh yes, I've been. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite a feeling.
Yeah.
I thought it was You know, I thought, oh yeah, right. Oh yeah,
Well,
after
and
all
I
this
think,
time.
I believe.
But it's amazing. It
and I
is. We have a few artifacts that we brought back with us from that trip, and so those things from Stonehenge have been in the house ever since. Along with all the crystals and stuff. Um, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
so
really
yeah,
amazing.
in many
Is
ways,
there is there an English Seth group of any kind?
I don't know.
I do know a woman in England named Mary Fahey who has
Oh,
was kind of a Seth group, kind of a point person for Seth in England, and I visited with her a few times. She's really
really?
delightful.
What part of England do you remember?
London, I think northeast London,
Ah,
and
okay.
but yeah, maybe I can put you in touch with her, or she
That sounds very interesting.
would
Yeah.
come over here for conferences. Yeah, Mary Fahey.
I know there are a few people in Athens that I've heard of. I've never been in touch with them. I mean, that whole time when I was there. But I keep finding out that this thing is not as isolated and quote unquote American as I thought it was.
Now, Mickey, actually, you're bringing up an important point that was a clever segue to something Jeff Kiefer is doing. And I'll say a little bit about it and then hand it to Jeff. But we're kind of touching upon, gee, I wonder if there's anyone in London. And I know, oh, Mary Fahey. Or, gee, I wonder if anybody anywhere around the world to find other Seth readers we can meet with. And Jeff is working. Well, he's correct. Well, Jeff, let me hand it over to you now, and you can tell us all about it.
You're talking about the Seth directory and community.
Yes.
You betcha.
Oh yes.
That's my website. We have over 100 members now. Excuse me. I would like to encourage everybody to start communicating because it seems that people are just kind of lurking. If you have Seth announcements, Seth related announcements like you posted the other day, Ashara, please post them. And I'm encouraging people to start talking with each other because there's a lot of people there, but not a whole lot of talking going on. So if you want to just post what's going on in your community, current events, sort of Seth events that you got going on, that would be terrific. And as we go down this Seth path together, it will expand and I'm sure turn into other things. Also have a directory, so if you have a Seth related business or group and you want exposure, go ahead and get listed in the directory. It's all free and it's all just for us Sethies.
That's nice.
Great. Now, I just posted on this same Facebook group the link to get to Jeff's page and put a picture on there so everybody can relate and see what it looks like. So I encourage everybody to go over there.
Absolutely.
And
That sounds really great. It does.
And again, the website address is
SethDirectory.com.
And I just feel a lot of excitement in my soul about what he's doing. Also, he just started it relatively recently, and already there's over 100 members. But it's only like a few months ago that you went live.
A few months ago.
And
I don't have a whole lot of time right now to promote it. I'm really not the promoting kind of a guy. I'm kind of more the guy behind the curtains that makes everything that other people promote. So if everybody can help me promote it a little bit, I'm sure I would be appreciative of that. And I'm sure Seth, wherever he is, would appreciate it too.
We're on this. Everybody is now posting it on Facebook. I just saw 3 of them go by.
Uh-huh.
So
I would like to answer who is Seth. To expand on that question a little bit, from what I understand, Seth considers himself a teacher.
Yeah.
He's a teacher and he broadcasts his teachings kind of like we do. And Jane Roberts was kind of tuned into the frequency and was able to pick it up and translate it. And Seth is not he or she is not a singular, but a group. And he is part of a group of teachers that tries to bring the messages to us. And they've been doing this throughout the ages. So
Yeah. That part is fascinating.
That was
How
brilliant,
long it's
actually, Jeff. That was brilliant. Good
That
comment.
was great, Jeff.
how long it's gone on.
And
Yeah.
we have other questions on here that, you know, it's probably the toughest question. It is, I thought Seth said he'd never speak through anyone other than Jane. Am I correct in believing this?
I would like to answer that.
All right, Jeff.
Yes, that's what he said. However, Seth is a cluster personality. So there's other parts of his personality. There's other energy essences, parts of his personality that I believe other people can pick up on. So some of the same information is being channeled by other entities that other people tune into and might know from a different name. They're not Seth, but you might say they're part of Seth or part of the Seth teaching group or part of the Seth University or the media center where it's all broadcast from or whatever it is. It's all part of the same package of information. It's just being presented by different people.
I've heard people refer to, quote, Jane's Seth as opposed to other. And then I thought about the fact that haven't I heard or read somewhere that Seth referred to aspects of himself, aspects of us. There are aspects of, or I guess that's similar to
But he called
incarnation.
himself a cluster personality.
Right, right. This particular question is one that I am actively working on processing.
Me
And
too.
I've been working on that for over a year, over 2 years. And I have grown a lot in how I understand that. But it is something that I go back and forth, seesawing back and forth on explaining it to myself as to how that could be. Because I too felt very strongly about the fact that he had said he would never come through anyone other than Jane. But some people have said, yeah, while she was alive, or, you know, or whatever. So there are all these different ways of seeing the answer to that question. And I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. I know a lot of other people are probably very sure of how they feel about it, but you can come to a point where you're in the middle of the road looking at the two ways of seeing it, and you have to adjust limitations that we might be putting on things. I had to learn about limitations, and you can't put boxes around stuff because some things, it was like the fact that you can be in more than one dimension at one time. A lot of us would have said, well, I'm here, I'm on earth, I'm alive, I'm blah, 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 blah. I can't be what, but no, we don't know enough about who we are and how we manifest to be able to put a box around it. So I'm trying to remain open, and I'm trying to work on how I see it.
Yeah. Now for me, I am about 3.5 years studying Seth. So I didn't have any of those thoughts. Nobody ever told me that Seth couldn't talk to anybody. So as I'm reading the material and Seth is saying, I've been a teacher, you know, through all my lifetimes and millennia,
Yeah.
and I have all this to say, and I've got 40 years to give to Jane, and then Jane dies.
Yeah.
Why would I ever think that a being that large and that important message could just never come through again when he had come through for, you know, millennia? So that never crossed. That is the part of the Seth community that blew me away the most, that they didn't accept the fact that Seth could speak through anybody else. Now, you know, I'm the one, I do talk about the Seth of Jane because Jane's personality, Jane's vocabulary, Jane's knowledge all help to filter Seth's message through. So I don't think that anyone else is ever going to have the exact Seth of Jane, but they can have an aspect of Seth because the teachings are out there, and the teachings can come through in other ways. However, whatever name is manifested, you know, Seth said somewhere, he said, all names are God's names, right? So names really don't mean anything to these teachers, but it's us humans that put a name to it. So it could be our human ego that says, oh, this is Seth. Well,
Yeah.
it's great information that's coming through. Well, who cares if it's Seth or Abraham or Elias or, you know, and that's the talk going on in Facebook right now is, you know, what is this happening? Some people
Well, you
are
know,
leaving it in their dreams, and other people, and you have to listen to what's being said. And if it feels like Seth's information and words, then take it to heart. But
you know, and you might not be, Seth might not be talking to you particularly because no information is ever, no energy is ever lost. So whatever he transmitted to Jane is still there, and you might be tuning in to the transmission of the information he was giving to Jane.
Absolutely, I
If
agree.
that makes any sense.
Yep.
But also Seth said in classes, and I'm loving it, what everybody's saying here too, and firmly and with all my heart agree. He said to people in his ESP groups, I'll be with you in your dreams tonight to help you out. He was giving one-on-one classes and helping people individually. And I've heard from many people, including myself, who had an experience where it felt like there was something very big calling itself Seth that touched them in some way. And I'm not about to negate anybody else's experiences. If they say, it changed my life, I felt a Seth there, it gave me information, beautiful. And this is the unlimited potential of Seth, but also the unlimited potential of the universe itself.
And of us, yes.
Healing and help ourselves. So
yeah.
I'm not going to limit Seth or anyone from helping the human condition or communicating to us spiritual truths.
And you know,
let's do it.
I might be talking about a taboo subject here, but I'm going to anyway.
We love
Abraham, to Esther Hicks, has talked about Seth extensively. And he says, he says that he is an aspect personality of the Seth personality. So it's kind of all part of the same cluster. We're just seeing a different face. And the information is being transmitted into a different time period into our reality, and is presented differently.
I wonder if it's similar to having a record played on the radio and it's being played on several stations, but it's still the same record.
But
and then you might get someone else who comes in and does a cover, and it's still the same song.
And universal truths can be spoken in many languages and many voices. So, and when you try to say like, well, wait, all that is, we're all part of what Seth calls all that is, they could also call the oneness of all of life. And he's saying that there's really no division.
Right.
So if wisdom is flowing, name or no name, and it sings to you, receive it. It's all part of the same source that we are all part of.
Yeah.
Just on a different frequency.
Yeah.
Everything is separated by frequency.
Exactly. Resonance, universal resonance.
Oh. You just change the dial a little bit into a different frequency, like a radio station, and you pick up a whole different realm.
And I think this very conversation we're having is adding something to the Seth conversation worldwide. Just saying, wait a minute, this is our feeling about Seth talking again. And Seth speaks and he's never stopped speaking, is kind of what I say, especially if we're listening. And especially if we're open to our inner world and what can arise within us.
All you have to do is ask. If you ask the questions, you'll get the answers.
Seth said that, yes. And that's just kind of a spiritual truth, said many ways, but, you know, the seeking, being open to receiving information and associations with what we can call higher beings of love and light, or whatever you want to call beings that are beautiful, but not physical, not dressed like us. Seth was saying there are no limits to reality and different kinds of consciousness doing different kinds of remarkable things. And all of us get to explore these realities when we get a passing grade from Schoolhouse.
Mm-hmm. When I first read about him saying those things, about all the possibilities for life, and that, we're not it and only it, and so forth. And right about that same time was when I first heard about spheres. There are people who have been taking photographs in gatherings where you have 5 or 6 people, or even if just 2 people walk into a room and you take a selfie or a picture, and you start to notice that there are these little spheres in the air. Orbs.
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 Excuse me. Yeah.
Orb photography.
And it just blew my mind. And I kept thinking about what Seth had said about the various forms that consciousness can take. And I bet that we have barely scratched the surface. Barely, because
He also said everything is consciousness.
Yes,
everything
exactly.
is made of units of consciousness.
Exactly.
Everything.
So we have all these billions of consciousness inside ourselves, our this, our that, whatever, whole systems, of organs and so forth. But they have all those little conscious beings inside them. So it's just a vast subject. Once you step into that awareness, of what he's come to say, you go on and on and on, and your mind and your heart just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
My questions have only led to more questions.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
You're doing it right. Good.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, gosh. What are the Facebook people saying?
Well, a lot of them are agreeing. They think that this is a great way to think. I do have another question though. Miriam, she wants to know about the COVID phenomenon, mostly about how an individual should cope with it on a spiritual or emotional basis. What would Seth say about that? That is her question.
There's actually a book about that.
Oh, mass events.
No, what is it? The individual and the nature of mass events.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Hardhart reads that book on YouTube if people are actually interested in listening to the book, The Individual and the Nature of Mass Events.
His readings are just fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. So putting a good word out for Tim Hart, and that's H-A-R-T. He has just read most of the Seth books with his beautiful voice. And you can listen to the Seth books in there, read to you, and you can adjust the speed faster or slower. So go to YouTube, Tim, H-A-R-T, and it's just like a gold mine of Seth being read to you by this guy. It's nice if you can donate to him, but it's given freely by him, and we.
I actually have been posting the chapters on Seth Directory from his YouTube channel on the nature of mass events, so you can actually follow it back to his channel from my website.
And that's great. Reminds me too. I want to say a little bit more about Jeff's website and how important it is to join it, because this is about bringing Seth community together. Okay, starting with 100 people there, which is amazing. As Mickey was saying, gee, is there anyone in London who is into this? My gosh, yes, there's so many, and there's so many around the world. And with the utilization of something like Jeff's directory, he has a map too. And if we all join this, we can find each other. We can go to SethDirectory.com, put our name in, put our location in, and lo and behold, we're going to say, oh my God, there's all these people within a few miles of me who are reading Seth. And you can email each other. You have conversations with each other.
There's also a chat just like Facebook.
Yes. I see that as probably one of the best potentials, a step above Facebook, because it's going to be all Seth all the time, instead of how Facebook can go in so many directions, but all Seth all the time on SethDirectory.com. So you get to meet other people, promote your business, You get to have these conversations, and people are posting stuff, documents you want to download to read, videos you want to see. I mean,
and you know, SETHdirectory.com is actually, there's a Seth directory there. It might be a little confusing. I've been playing around with the idea of putting SETHcommunity.com to point there too. It might be a little better. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions.
but everybody just get your name on there. It's good if you can put your real name. Some people use a fake name, which doesn't help. Use your real name so we can say, oh my God, it's that guy who I met at a Seth conference 20 years ago. There you are. We can reunite with old Seth friends too. But please, if you like Seth, you're going to love his directory, because this is the potential for future Seth community and getting the word out about everything and learning so much.
And again, you know, I need everybody's help and everybody's help on Facebook to kind of promote this, because it's not, I'm a programmer, so, and a graphic artist, so this promoting is not one of my strong points, but I'm sure it is for other people, and we're all in this together. So if you would help me, that would be appreciated.
Word of mouth is the best advertising. Just get that link, say some nice things, tell your friends, post it on social media. We got to get the word out, because this really is the way we can make new friends and spread a lot of light, so to speak, you know.
Well, today is just before time to sign in and get going. I spent an hour or more looking at a video that was on Jeff's website, where you had the video of one of our previous discussions, and it's an early one, and it's the one where Ron Card brought out all the artifacts, and I sat there. Now I was there, but there were so many things about it that I had missed. You are involved with listening to a particular person, and so your tendency to form your own thoughts about different stuff is split a little bit between the part of you that you're thinking with. So when I watched it back again, I just about fell off my chair. I thought, well, you're a nut, so here you go, being off the wall again. But I looked at the part where he started bringing out the paintings, and there's one painting of, let's see, who is it? It's Jane. There's a painting of Jane. No, excuse me. There's a painting of, I think it's Rob. And
yeah.
Behind him, I even wrote down the address on the tape, 37 something. I wrote it down. I'll have to find it. But anyway, as I looked at the painting, I sat there with my mouth open, and I thought I was going out of my head, because in the painting, they talk about the this E that's supposedly Rob painted into it. And while he's talking about the E, I couldn't even make much sense of that, because I was so busy looking at what I thought was definitely a face in the painting. So then when he came out with the next painting, and it was the one of Seth, and he says, and this one's the Mona Lisa. And he shows the famous painting of Seth that we know. And I looked, and on that one, I saw two faces. So I said, I've got to speak to Jeff about this and say, those of you who have actually seen it live, like at the Seth house, and you've actually seen the painting itself, you have to tell me if you see any of that in it, because it's, of course, very diffused, shall we say. It's, hidden in it, but the longer I looked at it, the more I was convinced that I was seeing two very lightly sketched faces. One in one painting, and one is looking over his shoulder and another person down below it. And I thought, this is eerie, because it's the picture of Seth, but it looks as if he put himself and Jane in it, behind him. So when you get a chance, take another look at that tape.
Yeah. I'll start.
38:15 is the minute and signature of it. At 37:52 into 38:15.
if you look up Tiki Dave, he's got a lot on the symbolism that's in that painting.
Oh,
Tiki Dave.
Tiki Dave.
Yes. And Jeff, before we get too far, people are asking the email that they're to use if they're having trouble with your website. So Penny Mead messed up her registration, so she needs help.
The easiest way is to use the contact form that's on the website.
Oh, so not an email. Use the contact form.
That's the easiest way.
Okay.
I mean, you're right there. It's right there. You don't need to be a member or logged in to contact me there. I believe it's info@sethdirectory.com.
You helped me with mine because I was having trouble.
If
And
you,
very
a lot of
quickly straightened it
people,
out.
a lot of people want to change usernames, or they can't find their initial email. Check your spam box. It's my first response. Just email me. Simplest way. Use the contact form on the website, and we'll get you all buttoned up and in there and ready to go.
Okay. I typed that all in too, Jeff, so we got it written out.
It's an interesting website.
Oh, I don't know. Is that good or bad?
That's good. That's
Yeah, okay.
excellent, excellent, excellent.
It's good.
I will.
One of the
I'll
things,
try.
you know,
I'll try to post the Seth Talks on there too.
Ah,
You know,
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, did you have something? I'm sorry.
just that Facebook only lets such a minute amount out to people, whereas on Jeff's site, everybody sees what you're talking about. So all Seth people are seeing all Seth things, whereas on Facebook, you may have 1,000 friends and maybe 35 see what you're talking about. So
true.
You know, you can also adjust the streams that you're seeing, because right now when you log in, you see all the conversations, but if it becomes too overwhelming, you can adjust the stream to just filter out what you and your friends are talking about.
So it's very flexible.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now, I wanted to put out another couple of things about what we're talking about, and something we've touched upon is, like, you know, we're mentioning names. We're kind of name dropping wonderful people in what we're calling Seth community, and this is a community, so to speak, that's bring more people together to have these discussions, and the directory is part of that, but other ways too. One thing that Kate and we accidentally put ourselves in the middle of this whole, how do we put this, Kate? You know, it started out, okay, the Seth House. For those of you who don't know, the place where Jane and Rob lived in Elmira, New York, is the house where they channeled most of this work. The greatest body of work about what Seth spoke happened in an apartment in a building in Elmira, New York. And that building physically went downhill over the years. And Kate and I started a 501c3 that will purchase the building, restore the building, and open it up as a public place for people to visit and enjoy and appreciate. So that's, in case you didn't know that, that's what the Seth House is about, is restoring that building where all of this happened and where that energy is still there, and to honor the lives of Jane and Rob and what Seth gave us. So we're not taking this lightly, the responsibility that Kate and I kind of took on. We had no idea what it would be snowballing into over these few years. And, you know, we do fundraising to help get a down payment to purchase the house and all that. But the joy, the absolute joy that was so unexpected, is all these amazing people we're meeting and interacting with who are contacting us. So it's like, for this community that is out there, we've got to make ways that we really can feel like a community, not just people at home reading a book, but that we have so many other people we can talk to, reach out to, be friends with, and co-create amazing realities together. So that's the thing about the 501c3, that it's a charitable organization with big dreams and big ideas. And And we just want to thank all the people we hear from who are so beautiful, who say this is great, and that they want to meet us, and that they want to come to the house, or they want to show their support in many ways. You know, the Seth book sold upwards of almost 8 million copies.
Wow.
And so many people around the world have been touched by them. And I often like to, you know, show the front of the book, you know, Seth Speaks and other books of this newer edition. All the people who praise Seth: Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, Louise Hay, Sanaya Roman, Richard Box, Jerry Jampolsky, Michael Talbot. The list is very long of people who say, Seth is the real deal. Seth inspired me. Please read Seth. So promoting Seth is like the best thing you can do in your life. Reading Seth is the best thing, you know, it just keeps opening up more windows of your inner world. So we live, breathe, and breathe this stuff every day, Kate and I. And we just can't be more enthusiastic about Seth, and also the vision of what the building can be, and what it's more than a building. You know, here we are, the Seth House. This Zoom talk is from this, you know, the Seth House idea. So that Seth's readers around the world can talk using this vehicle. Now, I want to read a paragraph that I wrote, Kate and I wrote, and we you know, about this Zoom program. And again, so much of what we're doing on this Zoom program is talking about this Zoom program, Seth Talk Live, or Seth Talk, whatever we're calling this. But here was kind of a paragraph about what we're hoping to jump into with this. And well, let me read it, and then I'll say some more. But here was the essence of about this meeting right now. We will try a new experiment on Sunday, July 12th. We've been doing this show since COVID kicked in, reaching out to the world to meet every Sunday, 4 p.m. New York time. We're loving it. Now it's time to modify our format a wee bit. It has grown to include many people who have contributed their thoughts and ideas, and we thank you all. For this broadcast here, we have selected just a few Seth Conversationalists to share what we will call a Seth Panel Discussion Group. This Sunday, we'll be brainstorming about what this weekly discussion group can become. We want your input too. We invite your questions and comments. Write them on this Facebook page and on the live feed as it happens. Join the fun. This is new. We're still experimenting. We want to create something very special to bring pure Seth talk to anyone who wants to listen in. Wish us luck. We're all about Seth. So again, we're kind of asking people, like here we're establishing, okay, what is it if it's just a panel and a set group of people who are invited, 6, 7, however many people, as one aspect of one show, one day during the week. Jeffy was mentioning other wonderful things about an interview show. But also, you know, I just want to take a moment to say, everybody who's listening now, write to Kate and us. Write if you want to be on the panel. We have to be like selective about how we're going to fit just a certain number of people so that everybody can talk and everything. But there's so much potential here. And if anybody out there is getting this idea, this vision thing about, yes, I've always wanted to do such and such, contact us, personal message us, go to the Facebook page and contact us, because we really mean this. It's like the more minds and hearts that are involved in this, the better, only better. We can do so much good together. So we are, Kate, do you want to follow up on that?
Well, the best email to use to reach us is info@thesethhouse.com. Private message, Oshara or myself. But if you're going to email us, if you want to, you know, be more lengthy, please use that particular email. Then there's been people, Amy has expressed, you know, she's like, I'd love to host something. So I'm like, we'll talk. So that's perfect. She's already on board with that, and we'll talk, and to have different people on each week. You know, I mean, of course, there'll be some people the same, and there's going to be times that some of us can't be there at a certain time, so others will have to fill in. So it's nice that we can build a pool of people that can do this kind of work and help them to grow as well.
Yeah, so putting them on this panel so that they can start to spread their wings and talk Seth, and branch out to trying to, you know, just branching out to open to all possibilities. And there's so many people now and so much energy. We're just gonna like assess how can we best utilize all this wonderful people power and Seth energy, you know, co-create.
So Becky just said, she thought it would be nice to pick a few topics so people know in advance and have questions, maybe write questions in advance. And that's absolutely wonderful. Right now, any question that comes to mind, if it's Seth related, we're gonna discuss it. We've got people here that have been studying Seth for over 30 years. Combined, oh my God, we've got what, 40, 90 years worth of Seth.
Centuries. There's centuries.
Yeah.
I've been studying it for 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we have centuries.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I would like to say how much I enjoy just the open concept of having philosophical conversations around the Seth material, and that if we could take questions either beforehand or during, that would be great too. But I really like the format. It's kind of a loose format of this group, whereas other groups are kind of formal and they go by reading the book and they stick on topics and stuff. And this is kind of more of, we see where we go with things.
Yeah, a free-for-all, open conversation. Love that too, because you never know what's going to emerge.
So on the invitation for this in Facebook, I can certainly add to it that, you know, please post your questions right here so that our panel can be prepared with those, you know, with a discussion. So that's a possibility. I can certainly add that so people can think about it beforehand.
Good point.
Should we tackle the question that the deep, it's going to lead us down into a deep rabbit hole of the whole COVID virus thing and what Seth would say about it?
Well, that question's been posed. Go ahead.
Take it away, Jeff.
No. We'll let somebody else go and ask this one. I'll get in trouble.
Rule, if you bring up a question, you have to be part of the.
I didn't bring it up, Facebook.
Well,
actually, no, you did address it. You haven't mentioned it a couple times in another session too, but yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what's going on, gang.
You know,
I'll get in trouble if I tell you what I think about the whole thing, but
we have to have time to look it up. See, what did he say about viral infections, about bacteria, about germs, about cells?
Right, it's for a reason, and people who choose to participate in it have participated in it for a reason.
Yeah.
And that many people who are dying from it have chosen to be part of a statement of this time to depart this reality. That's my overview, and I'm sure you all will expand on it.
And yes, there are as many reasons for this as there is many people participating in it right now, which brings us to nearly 8 billion people now. So we're all having a reasons for participating, and we're all having wonderful results, no matter what the media says. What I mean is challenges. We come here and we face challenges collectively and privately. We're doing things right. We're having these adventures in consciousness and physical reality, and we can choose to handle them any way we want to, and we're all growing from it, whether we know it or not. So now that you get me too, Kiefer.
I would like to remind everyone what Seth did say and how it might be helpful to some of the folks who are having anxiety about all this. As Seth did say that you get what you concentrate upon. Whatever you focus upon, it will become in your reality. So the more you focus, the more attention you put on the COVID virus, the closer you're going to get to it, and the more you're going to draw it to your life. So if you don't concentrate upon it and don't focus in on it, you will be less likely to be as close to it as you would be as if you focused on it. Now, does that make any sense to anybody?
Absolutely. And yeah. I'll say with Kate, we're thriving. I mean, we've had the best time in our lives these few months. We have sequestered, you know, we've done the thing.
Uh-oh.
Virtual
You're
thing.
frozen.
Froze. Wait, start again, Oshar. You froze. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
my connection's unstable. I'm going to close a window here. This is probably.
Are you multitasking?
Oh, I was checking Facebook too and all that.
Oh, okay.
I'm live now? Okay.
Yes.
But Kaden, I want you to jump in this too, that we've been having the best time of our lives these last few months. And as far as creating a reality goes, choosing how we want to face this, choosing our attitudes. We've sequestered, we've been so creative, we've done things we've been wanting to do creatively, decorating the house, you know, the cleaning, fixing the house, ourselves, our spiritual lives. We have had time to go into doing spiritual practices and reaching out for higher wisdom. That has just been at such a pivotal time in our lives. I mean, COVID, this, whatever this is that's going on, we have made such a blessing of it in our lives. And I realize there's so many extremes of people's experience with this. And I don't want to downplay anybody who's having to encounter, you know, things we hear about. And I you know, it's like, but for us and for the choices we can make, we've been thriving. And Kate, do you want to add to that too? Then this is our life. We've been thriving.
Well, I was going to say that too as soon as Jeff brought it up, and I'm like, yeah. I think that people that focus on the fear of it, it's harder for them. We have been quiet. We have, Seth House has been closed up. We stopped even going there to do the Seth Talk there. But it hasn't hurt. It hasn't hurt. It's okay. Thriving is a good word.
Yes.
Spiritually, it's been such a time of being quiet and being in meditation and connecting with my higher self and getting those answers and hearing those little nudges and following them. And sometimes it's just about decorating, it's not big philosophical stuff. And sometimes it is. But listening to those little nudges has been because everything's quiet around us. There wasn't so much noise to, it's just like a computer, like Oshara had noise on her line, so she had an unstable connection. Well, our life is an unstable connection, and COVID has quieted that connection down and cleared it. That's how I'm looking at it. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of good that's come out of this. If you really stop to think about it, children are not in school. They're being homeschooled. They're spending time with the family. The family's able to stay together and do family things. I don't know how many people who aren't working have started, painting their house and redecorating their rooms. I've done a lot of work online, although my life isn't much different. I'm retired, so it's just another day for me. But still, I think there's a lot of good that's come out of this.
I agree. It's like at any given time, that same thing is true. No matter what the headlines are saying, in your life, you have an agenda. Your particular incarnation includes certain things that are part of what you created as your reality. And for some people, it includes the coronavirus, and for other people, it doesn't. And for some people, it has a certain intensity, where for other people, it may be an aside. It's just a few simple things that you do so that this is part of reality on the planet, but it's not necessarily highly impactful in your own case. So, I mean, once I got used to the fact that there is no such thing as death, then it totally changes how you look at everything. Yes, you step into another reality at some point and you stay there. But when you go to sleep at night, you're waking up and you're coming back. So all of a sudden you're back here. But when you were born, first you weren't here and then you were. What do you remember about that? Nothing. And yet it's true. It's absolutely true. So I think how we approach those things that we're going to give our attention to, we have to be more responsible for what we put on that list. And I love that Seth has been saying that you can have an impact. Most of the time, you're taught to believe that you don't have anything to do with what's coming into your life. You know, I don't like that as much. I really prefer this viewpoint where I have some say in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Excellent.
You said it so beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just such a vast subject, and I question the fact that I've just gotten so used to being in that mindset where I'm okay about taking the responsibility for what I'm thinking at any moment. Sometimes you do catch yourself thinking something that you wish you hadn't, or you say, okay, I'm not going to do that again because I know it has an impact and I don't want to put any energy on that. No, I'm going to do it this way. And I'm so grateful for Seth bringing that out and making me aware of it so that I can move on with this new tool of my attention, you know, and I see it play out constantly, constantly. You know, that's why we're all here, isn't it?
But didn't Seth say the word dis-ease? It lowers your immune system. So I tend to not deal with things that put me in dis-ease.
Exactly. Oh, yes, Audrey, that's it. I had forgotten about that. That's so true. But it's about the consciousness that you bring to it. You know,
Yeah.
you're aware that, okay, this is something I want to aim myself at in a different way from what everybody else is doing, you know. So I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dis-ease.
When my thoughts go there, I remember that and I put them away.
Yeah, I
You.
agree. Oh, I'm
And,
just so grateful for Seth House. I mean,
oh,
I babble because I just sit here and go, wow, I'm so glad. Oh gosh, I love it.
we can't wait until we can be open again and see
Yeah,
people and invite
yeah.
people in. And one of our end
One quick thing though, because of COVID, there is Seth Talk.
well,
We had
yeah,
to shut down meeting in person at the house. So
yeah.
we created this and it has grown so beautifully. Again, it's what you do with situations and
Yes.
it feels very guided. Won't name
Yeah.
names who I think is guiding us, not at all. But that we but that we this is because of taking the right steps in the situation that's globally, and it's bringing the world together to talk pretty much face to face or pixel to pixel. Sorry, Kate, go ahead.
We thought our local people, that's why we initially did it. We did it for our local people. Not one of them come on.
To this
For whatever reason, it's all global now.
Oh yeah, I found the same thing happen. Not one person from my local Seth community is involved in anything online that I do, which I find is amazing. I really, really would like to commend you guys for doing the Seth House. That is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm so glad you rescued the house from the ashes.
See, we're fanning out. We're fanning out. I'm not the only one.
You know,
And you know what? So, Sarah, I would like to comment on one of the things you said about where we're getting our information and our help from. I would like to refer to our dear friend Lawrence Davison, who has passed away. It used to refer to where we're getting our Seth community stuff from as the committee.
Oh.
I'm getting my information from the committee.
and you can name it everything you want, but ultimately, Seth's, when he keeps saying all that is, that includes you and everything and all the wisdom of the universe, we can put a name tag on different parts of it and call it Seth, Jeff, Oshara, a pretty rock, We're all infused with life and wisdom and healing, and we're all experiencing a journey of life wherever we are. And it's like, keep stretching our minds and our imagination. And you know what? The more people who really plug into this Seth information and talk like this, can you imagine what this whole collective reality can be like if we're having Seth conversations all over the world? I mean, words like enlightenment are limiting. Words like awakening don't even come close. It's like healing, global wellness, creating a whole new earth experience collectively. We are unlimited. We can start having visions together that will just blow our minds is what comes to mind. But we can
collective projection. Yeah.
We can
It's
create.
all just an illusion anyway.
So make happy illusions and
so play with it.
And
well, you know, I have a really good, I don't know, I probably said this before. I don't know if we have Star Trek enthusiasts out there, but the holodeck on Star Trek, that's kind of like our reality. We just kind of put in the program we want to experience, and there we are on the holodeck, and it's all around us.
Yeah. Life is a holodeck. We just didn't realize it. And now we're accepting that we can write the program to go on the holodeck. Yes. I'm an old Seffy.
Kind of like the Truman Show.
Yes. I loved it. I loved that movie. Yes.
So for more conversations like this, and even, you know, what you would like to say, what you would like to see talked about, again, we have to keep coming back to us. Please contact us if you want to be on air, because we're going to be a little more selective about not having 20 people trying to talk at once on Sundays, but to have, you know, trying to do this again next week. We don't want to limit the potential. We want to cultivate the potential.
Explore it, yeah.
Yeah, and having
enhance the experience.
Say again, enhance?
We want to enhance the experience.
Expand
instead of it being a big, giant, free-for-all, too much.
Yeah, bite-sized chunks, and for we could have a whole show called "Free for All Too Much," and that's out there too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But you've got choices now, options.
You know, I'd like to read something that I wrote to some of the people we invited here, because you know, Kate and I tried to put some ideas out there again about the vision statement for this show. And for the 501c3, like we said, the 501c3 nonprofit is a few years old now. It's about raising the money to purchase the house so that we can do all these things with that physical building that has so much sentimental feeling for so many of us. But that's the 501c3. And one quick thing, and I want you to talk about it later, Kate, we're having a fundraiser for it because it's Kate's birthday coming up. But do you want to talk about that? And then I'll read a little bit for the vision statement thing.
So I'm going to turn 61 years old in August 10th. So I started a Facebook fundraiser, and I put the number of $200,000 on there because that's what the house is. Now, you know, I hope I get that much. Right now, every little bit helps, and
every little bit's a big bit, and
it is. And we so feel it. Oshar and I sit here at night and we go over each and every one. The two of us try to acknowledge every single one. Plus, I've been going through and doing thank you letters as they're happening, because there's over 20 already in 24 hours. It's really been an amazing outreach to the Seth House. We already have enough.
Have you done a GoFundMe?
We did, but it's just kind of sitting there. People aren't really aware of it. So
but people put money on that too. Or we also have PayPal, and we have even PayPal if you wanted to do a monthly subscription that it comes out every month. So, you know, there's so many ways to donate to the Seth House, but Oshar and I really have found that birthday fundraisers work really well.
Yes.
Already I've raised enough money to pay a month and a half of rent. You know, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Shara's birthday, she raised over $12,000 $1,000. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There are so
Wow.
many Seth enthusiasts out there that if each one only gave $1, that would mean a lot of work for me. So I'd rather have more money with less people, but whatever, every little bit helps.
And the thing is that it might seem like a lot of money, but there's a lot of expenses in a house.
Yeah.
And we put so much money into repairing 2 of the apartments, and we're trying to raise the money so we have the deposit or work out the negotiation for the purchasing. We've had to pay lawyers, we've had to pay filing fees and everything. So there's a lot of money that goes into it, and people say, why do you keep asking for money? Is that all it's about? I'm sorry, this is like physical reality, and purchasing a house. There's a lot that goes into it that we never anticipated, but we're rolling with it. And this is helping Kate grow.
Even this right here, I've heard people say, oh, this is free, this is great. Well, you know what? I just had to pay $150 for it. So
the Zoom membership
membership, yeah.
We're putting money into it to cover things and what have you. But so it is physical reality that requires at this time economic factors. But the thing is, it's working. People are stepping up to put it to support this, and we cry about this. What I mean is, like, when we get some of these emails or letters from people, it's just so touching. We know Mickey will come back.
You lost her.
No, she'll come back. But the feeling is we're making new friends, and this is so precious. And we know too that these are going to be friends with each other. I mean, that's why we cry sometimes with some of the letters we hear where people say what Seth means to them, that they want to see this happen, and we can have Seth conversations with people, and we go, this is bigger than anything we could have imagined, and that this Seth consciousness manifested in physical form with people is these friends where we are connected, and they're coming together for a building that's falling apart in Elmira, New York, that is symbolic of so much more that can be added to it, like conversations like this, but also just how it can touch people's lives. I mean, this can really touch people's lives, people who haven't even been born yet. All of us who are part of it, people who need this kind of healing that the Seth material gives. So when we put the thing out there, please support Seth's information in the Seth House. We know it's working. We know from people we hear from how Seth has touched their lives. I know from my life, he saved my life, and he's, informed my entire life in such beautiful ways. So yes, that stuff is good stuff. And Seth House has such amazing potential. And yes, now we have Kate's birthday fundraiser on Facebook. Please, if you have the means to support that, there it is. And there's also our website. See our website, which has a very clever name, thesethhouse.com. And then on it, there is a donation page, and you can find out what kind of way of donating works for you. And I swear to you, we are so meticulous about how we spend every penny and how we are saving to pay for the down payment and legal fees and what have you. This is our life's work, and we are doing everything right and learning every step of the way. How do you do this right? And
I have a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
I have a suggestion. After since you're a nonprofit, after the Seth House opens, you should do a bingo once a week. I do that for a nonprofit here in the city, and it can bring in quite a lot of money. Give people a chance to go to the Seth House and do something fun.
We are open to any possible fundraising idea, and also we're open to more people who want to join Kate and I in the vision of the Seth House. More people who say, hey, maybe I'll even move to Elmira, move into one of the apartments and be part of the day-to-day of this. Or people who, wherever they're living, want to have a creative idea for helping the Seth House. So open to all sorts of ideas, all kinds of fundraisers. One thing, we were going to have a big event this last May, June to celebrate Jane's birthday and Rob's birthday. It was going to be a big old conference thing. COVID happened, we couldn't do that. But using that too as an opportunity. Next year, we are going to have a big birthday celebration for May and June is Jane and Rob's birthday. And we've got wonderful plans. So we want to invite not just donations, yes, donations, not just, you know, do you want to be on the show next week and be part of the panel? And we're going to have a certain number each week for the panel, and then have spin-offs of this show. Do you want a show to talk about Seth? So, but any imaginative way you can think of, if anyone out there has had experiences with 501c3s where they were fundraisers, or they know how to promote me better and stuff like that. Yes, Kate?
Come see us.
Come see us, come call us, info@thesethhouse.com, or Facebook message us. So this is there's no limit to what this can be with people putting their energy in. And again, people who know how to do the 501c3, which we're still just learning as we go. And please forgive us if we make mistakes. We really do mean well. Sometimes we make mistakes. I got pages I got to fix on the website that I've been meaning to do for months. I'm sorry. You know, I spelled some things wrong. So, or if, you know, if any of us say the wrong thing or write the wrong thing, please know we're doing the best we can, and we're learning as fast as we can. And please join us. We know more friends make this amazing. It's a co-creative venture.
Yeah. I found that Grammarly is my best friend.
Okay.
It helps me catch my typos as I'm like doing my copy for the websites and stuff.
Okay. It really is just the two of us. I guess that's really what I wanted to say. We do have a secretary. Because of COVID, we haven't seen her since last November. So
oh, and she's just volunteering to be on the board of the board. Yeah. When you make a 501c3, you have to have at least 3 people signed in to be president, vice president, and secretary. She hasn't been able to be in Elmira last year. So she's with us in spirit, and she's legal on the documents. But anyway, there's yeah, you get the idea. But the thing about finding new friends, and we kind of feel like it might be entering a new wave of more people participating in more ways. And that's what we need to take it to the next level.
In some ways, COVID helped with that too, because they really broadened globally the people that know us and that are interacting with us. Whereas prior to COVID, it was right here in town.
Uh-huh.
And emails and Facebook and stuff. Yeah. And now it's our family is growing every day.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we want all of you to meet each other. You know, we're starting to be like a hub of the wheel where we're hearing all this stuff and hearing from people with good intentions and great Seth wisdom. And we're like, what if everybody could get to know everybody? And what if we can co-create that new world together? Because we can. And so that's the kind of the higher vision for a house that needs a lot of TLC in Elmira, but the limitless possibilities under a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, of some things that can be initiated. We could have a publishing company. We could have, you know, not just more shows, but a video company, being able to promote videos of Seth. And it's all about Seth, keeping it focused on what the vision is.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And
you got to keep the house green, though. It's got to be green.
Yeah, endless possibilities.
I couldn't be happier to be at this time, at this place, doing this work and meeting such wonderful, wonderful people. It's the best day of my life every day now.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Well, part of it's
the same way. I reached a point in life where I could say that, and it changes you. It does. It really does. Yeah.
Well, and also I have someone like Kate in my life, and I don't know how she puts up with me. I'm crazy, and she's wonderful. So
that's a nice combination.
Yeah.
Wonderfully crazy.
I love Kate, and she's part of it. And to share Seth with someone I see every day
Yeah.
Wow, wow, what a
And the
blessing.
days that I'm crazy, she's wonderful.
It's so true.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
That's like
Um,
that feeling when I'm reading Seth books aloud, to Jack, and it's a different feeling. We really goof on it. It's wonderful. The whole atmosphere in the room changes, and it's great. Put some nice soft music on, and off we go. It's lovely.
Yes, yes. Now, do you guys discuss it or do you just read it?
We do both. We
Both.
do both. He is not a Sethi,
Uh-huh.
but he has come to understand and appreciate it because I am such a Sethi.
Okay.
So he was open to the idea of the esoteric world, and he's a Buddhist, and it's very much about. He's had a lot of out of body and stuff uh, experiences. So when I came in talking about what Seth meant to me, and he noticed that that's the only stuff I brought, only books I felt I had to have in my suitcase when I left America, that had to come with me. And
Yeah.
so he has really come way around now. So he actually enjoyed it when I sat and read it. The other book that I have read, which I thought about when I was speaking to you recently, there's a book called Power versus Force by a man named Hawkins. I forget his first name. I think it's David Hawkins, but it's Power versus Force. And it reminds me a lot of the mindset that's contained within the Seth theories and the Seth way of looking at things. And he speaks about the power. I think of the EE points and so forth that Seth speaks of, and he talks about the power of each molecule of existence, and that and what you can do to interface with that. So that was one of the books that I read aloud,
Mm-hmm.
and Seth was always what I went back to,
Mm-hmm.
always. And I found that Jack has an engineering background, chemical engineering, and local politics. So he's very much about. It's not woo woo. He's not one of those people that's really into the new age thing and the beads and the, like me, the candles and the the crystals and so forth. So when he became open to hearing what Seth had to say, I was very, very gratified. He loves that I'm sitting here with you every Sunday evening,
Aw.
and I was so surprised that he was so anxious to do what he could to make sure it would go well. He was always anxious for me to turn off the TV, and I wanted to make sure he could hear that. And I said, well, as long as you can't hear in here, I can listen to you and you won't hear anything. He's like, turn it off, turn it off. It's not more important. So
Oh,
I really appreciate that, you know.
very sweet.
Yeah.
Mine is mine is slowly coming around.
And I think Shauna mentioned her son that she's been having
Yes.
conversations with.
Yeah.
And it's funny how it's interesting how this thing moves and it quietly demonstrates itself. If you're around someone who is interested in Seth, you will quickly start to notice little effects. It may not be an overnight turn, but when you're with someone for years, you will start to see evidence that some of the truth of it is manifesting. And it doesn't get better than that.
yes, yes. There's the ripple effect. When it's in our heart or our frequency or energy field, it ripples out
Yes, yes.
and it helps. It helps other people. When we're in
Mine
frequency, it helps others.
mine used the word reality last night, so yeah, I'm getting to him.
Oh, yeah. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
All right.
So one of the questions on Facebook was, are we to go out and teach Seth's words? Did Seth ask that? I don't know if Seth asked it or not, but for
I don't
me,
think so.
if you live Seth's words and you take it into a part of yourself, you can't help but teach it. You can't
Yeah,
help
you
but pass it
demonstrate
along.
it. You don't have to
Do.
teach it. You
Yes.
just demonstrate it.
Yes.
And other people notice what they're picking up from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if it's not part of what they wanted to create in this lifetime, they will find a way to distance themselves from you. But you start to realize, yes, he was right. You attract what you're about.
And as you consciously change your own frequency, your full soul vibrational, new ideas change you. Good ideas change for the better.
Yes.
You change your frequency when you change your way of thinking. And again, that radiates from you, and you're adding to creating a better collective reality. So yeah, talk about Seth. Yeah, read it, taking it to heart. It changes you for the better. It changes your whole frequency, your soul, your worldview.
I bet some of the, oh, go ahead, Audrey.
I created an angel.
Yes, yes. It takes one to make one. I was just about to say, I wonder if the people who are out there in the Facebook community who are watching only, if they begin to feel the sense of camaraderie and joy that I know I get when I'm sitting here every Sunday, being a part of this, the room changes. I feel myself inside changes. I'm very aware of the feeling of us all sitting here. I've even gotten to the point where I can somewhat feel those that are even more removed in that Facebook part of it. But certainly those of us who are sitting here looking at each other, there is definitely a feeling there, a vibration.
Oh, yeah.
And so it made me wonder, what do the people on Facebook feel? Can they detect any difference when you're not necessarily consciously trying to make a thing happen, that you're not trying to push some kind of Seth agenda, but yet if you are hearing about it all the time, if you keep coming on Facebook and you're listening to it, do you start to feel something? Are you aware that it makes you feel a certain kind of way?
Well, Sean Lembeck said yes.
Who?
Sean on Facebook, Sean Lembeck.
Oh.
Lembach said yes. So
good. Thank you for answering that so quickly.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
You're right. Like, just that, God, what you just touched upon is amazing too. And the face, I'm sure of it, or they wouldn't some of them keep coming back, kind of feeding each other this energy and of plugging into Seth together.
Yeah.
Are there any other Facebook friends who have any things they're saying or questions, or, but just like you said,
right now, a lot of our Facebook friends have said, they have to go. So they've been saying their little goodbyes. So, and it is, it's like 2 minutes to 6 here. So yeah, a lot of that.
I'm so grateful for all of them. Oh my God.
I have an interesting thought that came to me yesterday about the Seth Talk. Do you think maybe at the beginning of each Seth Talk on Zoom that we could invite Seth, and just maybe someday he'll show up in a little square?
Holy crap.
My God.
Wow.
No limits.
No limits. What a remarkable thing to say.
I was thinking about that the other night.
The implications of the hows and
I think we would have to invite him first. I don't think he would show up uninvited.
I think Seth would just show up if he wanted to. I think
I remember
now that it's been brought up, huh?
Remember that one where the blue lights were coming down? I think he showed up on that one for sure.
Well, I was trying not to push that, but I do feel that very strongly. And I didn't want to say too much, but I know what I saw, and it was something there,
Well, and also, the Seth energy with us. Yes, if we are bringing ourselves to that Seth energy by talking about us, we are part of the conduits who are bringing.
We're banging the gong, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
All right, I have to read this for Mickey. So Joe says, Mickey, what you feel sitting there, that alive feeling of being part there in the live group is like being very excluded now for others. And then Sean said in tears. So
wait. I want to understand this. You're saying that because we've cut it down that we're excluding others? and
that's
they're
how
feeling
Joe,
it.
that's
Who
how
was
Joe,
this?
Joe is feeling that because
Who's Joe?
not a part, her name looks like Joke.
Oh, her,
Oh,
yes.
joke. Yes,
Yes.
yes, I remember you.
Yes,
Oh, well then,
and please do not, I don't want anyone to feel excluded. So I really want to address this, that this is really supposed to help people feel more included.
yes, yes.
Yes, yes,
But we're just saying that now we have to take turns instead of,
exactly,
yeah, instead of just all speaking at once. Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
You know, maybe we could have the Seth talk with a panel and maybe reserve like 6 spaces for people who contact you and want to be part of it each time. So people who are out there in the Facebook world can actually join us on our Zoom chat. Um, just let you know ahead of time, and we have open slots available, something like that. Because, you know, if you don't, then just too many people join and nothing ever happens. Nothing gets discussed. We're all just talking
That's a
over
good
each other.
idea. Yeah. And plus, like you said, having more than one session so that you get to have a greater number of people who can
And that's why I
participate.
said, write to us so we know who wants to be included next time.
Right.
And I said clearly, like, we're having an experiment right now to try to articulate this for everyone and say, let
Yes.
us know we want it to be inclusive and bring people in.
Did you say that one of the people you just got a message from was Shauna?
No, not the same one.
Oh, I see.
No.
Okay. I wondered
Different
because I
Sean.
thought I had
Different
heard you
Sean.
say you saw Shauna at one point earlier, quite a while earlier, but then I didn't see it show up on the screen.
No, it was
So,
a different Sean.
oh, okay. I
Yes,
see.
yes.
I would really like us to see to include, make sure to include the people that are new to the Seth material.
Yes. We could have a segment as a part of each one of the evening sessions. You could have a segment of so many minutes devoted to just newbie awareness, newbie questions, and so forth. People who are just getting into it and have a lot of questions that those of us who've been talking about it for 40 years, they hadn't thought about in 40 years, but it needs to come up. And we need to be really, really happy to receive whatever those inquiries are. Because that
Absolutely.
first stage is so important. How you get into it is everything.
I do know that if you get a bunch of Sethies together, you're going to have a hard time getting into any conversation because we're so happy to be able to talk to
I
somebody
just
about
want to sit there
Seth.
and look at each other.
Oh, Jeannie Fry just got on. She's like, put me on the list. I want to be included.
Yes.
She just happened to find us, and she says there's no such thing as coincidence.
No,
Love to
no,
hear
there's
her
not.
talking to. Yeah. So that's the thing. Find out who wants to be online. And people out there, yes, contact us. Let us know you want to be online. And then Kate can send you the passwords. You see, part of why we're doing this and saying, hold on, stop, is because we had bad experiences, really bad, with people jumping in and saying bad things.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So that's why we're saying stop, new format, where in order to be on this talk together, you have to contact us. And we will send you the password. It'll be a different password every week because we can't just open the gates anymore because bad people got in and said very bad things. And we have to be sure that each person who comes in was invited. So
it really needs to be done prior to this starting.
Yeah.
I have spent most of this not paying attention to us at all, but paying attention to the Facebook people and trying to explain to people why I'm not giving the password. And so people need to understand that it needs to be done prior to 4 o'clock. So if you don't have the password by 4 o'clock, then the panel is already set. And I don't know what else to do.
So it is a lot.
And if the password is going to be different every time, like Jeff tried to get on using an old one, Audrey tried to get on using an old one. So the people that are on need to know to look for that email and they need to look for that password, and that's how they're going to get on.
Yeah, there can be technical glitches that she has to work on to help get people on. And then sometimes we've had it where they just can't get on, something wrong technically. We can't help it. We're so sorry when we miss that. But if you want to be on next week, again, we're doing this more for security purposes. It's like, please contact us, and whoever we can get on and get a password to, and everything goes well, we will. So we do want to be inclusive, obviously. So contact us. We'll get you on the list. We'll get the password to you. Yeah, and more conversation. We look forward to so much more conversation with it.
Maybe we could, like you said before, list some topics that we're going to be talking about on the next one, so people are kind of ready, because the Seth material is so vast that we could just be talking for days about everything.
Well, and then in one way too, it's like you get Sethies together and the topics emerge. So we can have thousands of topics we could talk about with Seth, but somehow when we get together, you know, this came up for me this week, and I thought I wanted to ask you guys about the topic Seth, you know, on page 33 of this book or that book. Can we, you know, can I read this to you, and can we talk about it? Or we talked about COVID today in really beautiful ways that were all Seth-centric. I think the COVID discussion was really, we you know, every week we do kind of touch upon COVID because it's up.
It's in our life.
Even more beautiful insights that I heard from people about it that we're adding to that conversation. So there's the spontaneous topics that come up as well. I don't think we were at a loss for things to talk about with Seth's words. What, Kate? I'm sorry.
No, nothing. Everything's good.
But yes to lists, yes to different theme shows and different people who want to have them. But, you know, let's start the conversation here and have spin-offs. And again, that's just the new policy. If you want to be on, we can't just have the password out there for everyone, because we've got to make sure that it is a real person who knows what a Seth book is.
And it's truly, I got to say, it's too hard for me to manage. So it really is too hard for me to manage.
Well, I think, you know, screening the participants ahead of time is a good idea, and I believe a lot of channels do that. So
yeah, I think that's important. Yeah,
I'm going to read something that I sent to you guys. I don't know if it's even relevant right now, but it's like, you know, the last minute we were trying to reach out to people and say, you know, because of these new things we have to do to make it safe. Kate and I worked on this email that we sent to you know, our friends, inviting them to this panel, and with the password, you know, like we didn't even have the password till today.
Yeah.
So a lot of this, putting this particular episode on, was a lot of last minute. So let me read stuff to you, and if maybe some of the answers or questions or concerns you might have might be in this, but we're trying to capture what we want the vision to be for the future. I'm just going to read it as fast as I can, and I hope you like the parts you like. And here we go. Hey, Kate, anything to say though before I get started, or should I do it?
Go ahead.
All right. Ahem. So this is to the people. You guys received this email, and so did Shauna, but we weren't able to connect with her. So anyway, here we go. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Sorry we were unable to talk to you, each of you individually, before today. As we mentioned to some of you yesterday, we are changing the format of Seth Talk to a panel discussion. The panel for today, last minute, is Oshara, Kate, Mickey, Shauna, Audrey, Jeff, and we know there's many others as well. Thank you for the conversational contributions you have made along the way. We enjoy our time with you. We will invite more people to join us in the future. We hope to make a good fresh start with this new format. We altered our description of the group on Zoom and on Facebook to explain what's going on. We welcome and strongly encourage viewers on Facebook to ask and comment in the comment section of the live video, just like they always have. We will then monitor that and pose the comments and our questions for our panel to discuss. Wow, we have grown so much in just a few months and have had some growing pains along the way as well. We have had problems in the past with just letting anyone jump on board, and some intruders have said very hurtful things. We will not let people in who have not been vetted beforehand for this emotional safety of the group. Also, when we've had large numbers of people, it was often too hard to keep focused. we have responsibilities we need to be mindful of for the group, for the Seth house, and to be true to Seth's message. We have thought long and hard about this, and we are doing the best we can to make sure a high quality and focused Seth conversation is presented every week. We want you to know how much we truly appreciate all of you, your input, insights, and good intentions. We realize there was not much warning for this, but as a weekly show, we are often flying by the seat of our pants, spontaneously making up as we go along. Yeah, I like flying by the seat of our pants. Okay, there is a new and special community forming here for those who love Seth. This online group is also a public face for the Seth House, and its reputation is reflected in these conversations. So Seth Talk has to offer a clear message about Seth, and not digressing or going off topic, but yes, keeping it fun, honest, and friendly. We have, sorry, we have had concerns about it becoming a stage for people who want to talk about themselves while not letting others talk freely. You know what? The page jumped and I just lost my place. I'm so sorry. Oh, God. We have had concerns about it becoming a stage for people who just want to talk about themselves while not letting others talk freely about Seth. There are other places for that on the internet for people to talk about themselves or whatever they're hot about in other places. However, there are so few places exclusively for Seth, and we need to keep our intentions clear in order for this to be a place for Seth readers to feel comfortable and safe and to find each other and to be part of this burgeoning community that needs to be simply for and about Seth. We need to support others out there who are learning about Seth for the first time. We need to support others who are studying Seth. Oh God, I skipped a beat. Let me try the sentence again, sorry. We need to support others out there who are learning about Seth, which in itself is a lifelong process. All of this is what we hope Seth Talk can become for people, and for the Seth House especially, for this all to be a place to study Seth and share in true Seth community. To this group and others who will join us, we appreciate your voices and your hearts as we share conversations about Seth, and we hope this program may inspire people all over the world who will be listening in now and in the future. There could be people listening to this conversation after we're dead.
Yeah.
And it touches their lives.
Yeah.
So we really need to get that feeling, the power of video, but the power of Seth and every word we speak. Okay, and then remember we wrote this earlier this morning, and so I said, so now what? Today's the show. The hours are counting down. So let's keep it simple. Let's have fun, be natural with each other, and enjoy each other's company. We are in a safe place to share freely. All topics need to be Seth related. Just be polite. All members need to be heard and not talked over by others. That was happening. That's why each of you that's why each of you who we have invited, that's why each of you have been invited. Anyway, we know the folks are friends. You know how to have a friendly conversation about Seth. You are kind and really know your Seth material. We will invite others to join us in the future. But this collection of souls is a great place to start. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with it going down. So please bring your Seth quotes, ideas, topics with you today. Let's brainstorm. Oh, crap. Let's brainstorm together for all to hear as to what we would like this group to become. Let's enjoy this. We love your smiling faces. and then the timing and the pre-conversation, Seth Talk. If you'd like to write, what is said on the show has an influence on other people. It is a reflection upon Seth and the Seth House Project. So there's an important responsibility to consciously co-create what could become an important forum for Seth expression. But no pressure. Let's just do, no pressure, but no pressure. Let's do what we've been doing for the last few months, but with more focus on Seth. Another daydream we're having is that this may give participants a place to practice their skills for becoming public speakers for Seth at Seth conferences and beyond. Hey, let's create some nice personal realities here that people can hone in their abilities to talk about Seth and get their own spin-off show, but to really take the show on the road and speak publicly about Seth. What if there were more Seth speakers? We really cherish the friendships that are forming on this show and through the Seth House itself. We so deeply appreciate how you have shown up and shown your kindness and knowledge about Seth's message. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Beautiful.
Very well said. Oh, I'm speechless, but yes, beautifully done.
Thank you, Seth. Kate, anything else? Where should we go with this?
You brought the house down.
I think you
We're trying to lift the house up. We're trying to paint the house.
There's a pun in there.
I think everything went very well. I know that it takes people a while to get accustomed to new things, and I think that it will get easier and easier, and everybody needs to know no one is being excluded. We're trying to give everyone a voice. That's the thing. It's just not going to happen all at one time, because then nobody's heard.
Yeah.
So this worked very well. Audrey, I have to say, you were absolutely radiant tonight. Like when you were speaking, just radiant. You are just coming into your own, and I love watching it.
Yeah.
That's me freaking out is what that is.
No, you're wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
You know, and Jeff, love seeing you back here again. And who knows, maybe a Saturday, Seth, another kind of, Seth forum will come out of this. And I love your website, and I'm going to take a conscious try to get on there more often. We've been so busy this last couple of weeks.
Would you post your fundraising stuff on there too?
I did. It's there.
I haven't looked yet.
You don't even look at your own. No.
Well, I've been here with you.
Yes. No, I did. I posted it last night. And then I posted your stuff to our Facebook, so reciprocal. I'm gonna start posting the Seth Talks from the YouTube channel, your YouTube channel on beautiful,
too.
beautiful.
This one first. I think this is one that we want people to talk about and realize this is an invitation for more Seth readers to join us, and please write to us.
Yes.
Hey, anything. Write to us about anything. We love it.
I'm looking at Facebook. Jeannie Fry, good deal. Penny Mead, it is going in the right direction. Yes, very well. And Mickey, thank you for being here. You are beaming too. You're just bright, shining, and we love seeing you on and talking and chatting.
Thank you. I enjoy being here. I really do. It feeds my soul with an S.
I love that.
I'm very comforted by Mickey, actually.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. That is so nice of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is really soul medicine being here. It's soul medicine.
Mickey, you're like a warm hug.
I like that.
All of you can see why we're so enthusiastic about bringing people together, because look, you people listening right now, writing to us on Facebook, people on our email list, real Seth readers with such beautiful hearts. This is why we're enthusiastic about this, and this has to happen. Bringing us together is what it's all about. Yeah, we have to sign off, but It is, yeah, see the website, thesethhouse.com. Write to us at info@thesethhouse.com. Come back next week. This is how we meet each other and grow. And we're going to offer more opportunities for this and really getting together next year at the house. This is the goal, that we can get together at the house for Jane and Rob's birthday. And yes, we need your support in so many ways.
Yes.
But the main thing is, like, get us together. Let's talk about Seth. This is what changes lives.
It's so good to see you back too.
Yes.
It's lovely.
Good to be back.
Now, I just posted again, SethDirectory.com. That's on the Facebook side. I also
www.sethdirectory.com. Join it. That's
Doesn't matter. SethDirectory.com. It doesn't matter. You'll get there.
Yeah, I know.
Just think about it and you'll get there.
Yeah, right. And the SethHouse.com. I posted that one there too. Time next week, we will be on at 4 o'clock again Sunday. Every Sunday, 4 o'clock.
New York time.
Our New York time. We will be here. We'll be somewhere.
However you want to join us, let us know so we can give you a key to the kingdom.
Yeah, and how interesting, like right now it is 6:21. I can see Jeff's clock says it's 3:21.
Yes.
And mine says it's 11:21.
All right, so there we are in 3 different time zones.
Yeah.
And all time is now.
Now.
Woohoo! How'd I do, hon?
Seth loves you, baby. So do I.
I'm a good student.
Yes, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Gosh, I'm thankful for all the people out there in Facebook watching. Oh, it's so nice that you're there. And I'm
Nothing's
just
growing.
And
so happy
generally,
to be able to do this.
I gotta say, when, you know, after about a day or two of this, we're finding that there's 200 to 300 views on Facebook of this.
Oh,
So people are watching it after it's over. And of course, people bounce back and forth because we do talk a lot. And right now we're having a heck of a thunderstorm here. It's just booming
Wow.
and raining. And I had to get up and turn the lights on because it got so dark in the room.
well, was I the only one that blanked out? My computer went off.
You are, yes. I mean,
So I didn't know if that was
froze.
Zoom, if that was everywhere, was
No.
it the internet? But for
No.
some reason, it just went black and I went offline.
I think it was you, and Oshara froze once, but that's it.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think Zoom is working pretty well.
Okay, so that's something about my PC. I don't know what happened there, because
So
I
all
think
of you, think about it, feel about it. Read Seth this week. I mean, my God,
Yeah.
if you just lay on your bed and hold Seth Speaks, that makes a difference too.
it does. It
So-
does. I've
Now,
done that.
I do want to say one more thing about people that want to donate. If you donate through Facebook, Facebook pays all the fees of everything. The
Mhm.
Seth House, if you donate $10, Seth House gets $10.
Mhm.
If you donate through PayPal or any of the other methods, they all keep a cut. It's not a big cut, but they do
Oh.
keep some. So Facebook is the most economical way for us to receive money, and it's probably the easiest way as well.
Other than the old-fashioned write a check and
Oh,
mail
yeah.
it to the
You
place.
can always do that. Yeah.
What's the
Or-
check?
Or hand us
What's the check? There you go. And we've had people wire us money. We've had people mail us cash. That's a little scary.
Don't
Oh,
mail
yeah.
cash, but
Yeah.
wiring through the banks is good. But I want to tell you too, it's not just one way. If you donate to the Seth House, we mail you a thank you package, and it includes a paint chip from Jane and Rob's apartment.
Yes, I
Yes,
love that.
You can have a real piece of the
I
Seth
was so
House.
silly when I got mine in the mail. I have to admit, I was absolutely an idiot. It
It-
tickled me to bits.
Well, I can tell a crazy story. A woman, and you know what? Right now I can't even think of their names, but a woman donated to the Seth House. I sent her the little package with the paint chip. Her girlfriend saw the paint chip, that they do the book study together, and she was going to cut the paint chip in half so that her girlfriend could have one and she could have one, but she couldn't part with it. So instead of doing that, she donated to the Seth House in her girlfriend's name and gave her girlfriend's address so she will get her own paint chip.
Oh,
So, I
that's
mean,
nice.
How beautiful is that?
That's
It
nice.
really, It is a special feeling. It really is. And then we thought this is like, from the beginning, it's like, you have a piece of the Seth House. And what's in the package is, and that's in a plastic container that holds it nice and it's cushioned. We really are taking
Yeah,
it.
it's all set to be archived.
Yeah, like you're
Yeah.
a piece of, part of you is in the Seth House when you support it. A piece of you is in your hands, and so we have postcards of the Seth House, quotes from Seth, thank you letter, a little booklet that's our annual.
It's a nice package.
And you'll
Yeah.
I put mine with my will.
Oh my gosh.
I did. I did.
Important
Now
papers.
that's important paperwork.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Jeannie Fry just said she got her thank you package. Thank you so much. And Penny Mead also lost her connection. Everything went black for her too. So you're not alone, Mickey.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if you donate Seth House, thank you for all of you who are here and hung in there and keep calling
my
back
God,
too with their
yeah.
techno things. And so we'll send you these love packages back to you. And it would help if your donation was like more than $20 so we
Yeah.
don't lose money in it, because we have to print these things and mail it overseas sometimes, and it's like postage.
Yeah,
and
some of them,
Mm.
yeah.
yeah, if it's at least $20, that'll help cover, you know, the printing and the time and the postage and envelopes and the plastic container to put the chip in. But the main thing is we want you to know the love is reciprocal. If you support the Seth House, we're going to send you love letters, and let's get you on the email list for when we have the next email. But yeah, it's
You need an option on there too, that if it's a repeat donation, and they can opt out of receiving another package.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you
okay.
only get
So,
one
You know what I mean?
okay,
You can.
so for
We've only got so
people
many
that are
things
on
to
a
go
monthly
around.
subscription, I do not send them a package every month.
Right.
I
Right.
don't do
Okay.
that. But
But
for
if you're a first-time
single
Seth House-
donations, they always get a thank you, whether it be an email thank you or a written letter thank
we
you.
will acknowledge you, and
Yes.
please forgive us if we don't acknowledge you for a while, because that happened. We were so far behind. People donated, and we're like, did we write them yet?
Right. So
Again,
right.
everything about the Seth House should say, please forgive us. We're learning as we go along. But if you don't hear from us, write to us. If we need your address, by the way, if you want to get your thank you things.
I donated and didn't hear back, but I was okay with it.
Give us your.
You have your address?
Probably not.
Yeah, well, there you go. Send
You
me
can
your
talk.
physical address, Audrey.
Okay.
And
What we mean. If you donate, also let us have your address. That way we know what we're doing.
yeah, yeah.
We've
The only
tried
way
so
I can
hard.
do it, if I don't have
Oh,
an
I
address.
thought you were going to channel the addresses.
Wait, I'm not a channel. That's
I
too much
couldn't resist.
responsibility.
Did it psychically? No.
Couldn't resist.
No, for my birthday donations, I have been asking everybody, do I have your physical address? Do I have your physical address? And some of the people say, I don't need anything. And other people are like, oh my God, that's wonderful. So if you give me your physical address, I send you a package.
Okay.
That's my job.
And stay in touch. We're all friends of the Seth House. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We're friends of the Seth House.
Yeah.
Friends of Seth. And let's stay in touch and watch this grow together.
Yeah.
It's been an
Yeah.
amazing few years, and it's only going to keep growing. Yeah.
Well, I think it's done well. Yeah. Yeah. This is
Well-
a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Much more relaxed.
Oh, maybe the show?
I don't know. It's been busy on my end.
Yeah, yeah. You have a different role.
I do. And it's hard to follow sometimes the conversation on one side as opposed to the other side. And I'm sorry if
Mhm.
I mix anything up at times.
And maybe we can find someone to assist you for the next show. If somebody knows how to do this sort of thing, they can ride shotgun with you, and they monitor the Facebook thing, and they can say, oh, we just had something from Facebook. They have a question. Here's a great comment. Da, 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 da. So if you could get an assistant joining us to help chime in for the Facebook viewing community, there's another idea to throw out there, another brainstorm.
Yeah,
And
good one.
There's room for everyone here. There are so many things that the Seth House does need, could need, would love to have. It's endless.
Yeah.
And the main thing is Seth readers coming together. That's
Mhm.
what it all is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So with
yeah, the most beautiful days were when we had Jane and Rob's birthday parties, and everybody, people came from as far as what, Wisconsin, I think was the furthest. So we had 9 states represented here at the Seth House.
yeah.
I don't think anybody came from Canada or outside of the U.S., but that day is going to happen too.
In 2021, Jane's birthday mansion, we want that. We're visualizing that. And that maybe we actually, the 501c3 actually owns the home and actually can start beautiful renovations. And yes, keep it a beautiful shade of green. But
And Ron Card is planning on bringing the artifacts that he has to the house so that people can experience, touch, sit in Jane's chair, put their hands on the Ouija board. You know,
hold the
it's amazing.
painting of
Yeah.
Seth. So yeah.
We want to share the house. We don't want to keep it to ourselves.
It's a
We
party house.
love people coming to see it.
Yeah. And so let's visualize together 2021. We raised the money to buy the house.
Yeah.
We're renovating it, making it beautiful and safe.
Mhm.
And that all these Seth friends can come together and hug and talk and touch the walls. You can find out where the paint chip came from.
Oh yeah.
And just sit there. My favorite thing, it's so simple. I just sit in the room where Seth spoke and I can start crying.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple. Just to sit there. So.
I can understand that.
So read your books, folks. You know how this works. Should we have a quick checkout where everybody says hi, bye, I love you or something? What do you think, darling? And you're all darling to me.
That sounds wonderful. Wonderful. Most of the Facebook people have been checking out little by little.
Saying their hi, bye, byes.
Hi, bye, byes. I keep liking them all. I love all of them. There's still 7 people, 8. Somebody just logged in. 8 people hanging in there. And for those, this is the close to the end. You know, I think Facebook takes a little bit of time to render it, and then it becomes, you know, that you can just watch it from the beginning.
Yeah, you can watch it from the beginning on Facebook, and Kate will post it on YouTube. And our YouTube station is called, strangely enough, the Seth House. So you can watch it there in days from now when she can render it and post it there.
And I will share it here to the group, so you'll be able to find it easily enough.
I'll post it on the Seth's directory also.
Thank you. All right. I love you all. This has been wonderful.
Yes. Good night.
Good night,
I love you.
everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Hugs.
Hugs, big hugs.
Big hugs.